Oh no, my friend's Jeep got stuck so deep in the water. We must pull him out. First, you need your winch remote. Now, this winch doesn't necessarily need the cord, but if your battery in the remote dies, then you will need it. So we're gonna go to the front and open this thing up. So on our van, we've got the CA Tune front bumper, and integrated into that, we've got the Warren Evo winch. So this one is a 12,000 pound winch with the synthetic cord. You can use the remote or you can plug in up here, but on these CA Tune bumpers, it's kind of hard to get to that plug. It is possible, but it's a little tricky. So today we're gonna use the remote, and to turn this guy on, you've got to hold the mode button until that light turns blue. So it looks like we've got enough battery, so we should be good to go. When we start this thing up, we are gonna want our vehicle to be on, so there'll be a little engine noise. Hopefully you can hear me for the rest of this video. All right, so the first thing we're gonna need to do is get this hook down to the Jeep, and to do that, we need to free spool the winch. So this lever in here, we have to turn that facing you, and that's going to allow us to pull the cable out. We can detach our hook, and now we can go down to okay, so at the Jeep, we want to make sure that we have a good point to tow off of. So we can use a shackle, we can use this eyelet here. Never tow off any suspension components or anything like that. If you have a stock Sprinter with a stock bumper, then it's going to have a tow hook under the passenger's feet that screws in right around this area. It's a very heavy duty bolt with an eyelet in it, and you just screw that in all the way until it's tight, and then you can hook onto that to tow it out. Okay, now that we're all hooked up, we need to first take the slack out of this line, and then Zach is gonna put the Jeep into neutral so that we can pull it and we're not hurting any axles or anything like that. I'm gonna make sure that my e-brake is set, and then we can start pulling. Make sure to re-engage the free spool so that this can no longer spin freely. That way when you press the button, it's actually pulling. Okay, so now that we have this line taut, the Jeep is in neutral. I'm gonna turn on my vehicle, and we're going to make sure that that's on, because the battery alone is not usually able to pump enough amps to make this winch go. So we need the alternator to be kicking in as well. One really important note is to never ever step over a tight line, because in the odd case that it does snap, that can be very dangerous. So you always go around it, never step over it. So I'm gonna go around, start it up, and we're gonna start pulling. All right, come on forward. That's good. You're good. All right, so the next thing we want to do, because when we spooled this in, the rope didn't necessarily come in evenly. So we want to make sure that that goes back in evenly. So we need to bring it all the way back out to where it was, and then we'll spool it in on an even pattern. So we put it in a free spool. If you're using your winch and it has a steel line or a braided cable and not the synthetic like this has, then you definitely want to be holding from the end. You don't want to be holding the actual cable itself, because it can have wires that could go straight into you and really cut you up and ruin your day. Either way, I should be wearing gloves when I'm doing this, just for safety. But we're gonna go ahead and let's go back in, and then we're good to go.